Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's been a while, been a little bit since I've been on here. Wanted to take a little bit of a break before I decided to come back on here. Just a little mental break sometimes you need to freshen up everything, but I'm glad to be back on with you guys. Just here to talk about a little bit of the goings on of the 49er land for a bit. Might not be too long of a stream, but figured I'd touch base with you guys because it's been a little time since I came on last. So yeah, 49er training camp is all but done except for one more day I think we have. And then we get into the preseason this weekend against the Kansas City Chiefs. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing Trey Lance on the field, see what we have in a quarterback when he's not going against his own defense. It'll definitely be interesting. I will be watching with very interested eyes. Um, thing with the preseason though is I don't want to see a lot of guys on the field. Be honest with you. Guy like Trey Lance, certain backups, get them as much playing time as possible. But guy like D Ford, Nick Bosa, you're not going to see anything from them, and hope rightfully so. They have a hard time staying healthy, so we got to do everything in our power to keep them as healthy as possible as the season approaches. But I'm definitely looking forward to getting football going this preseason, and looking forward to getting some questions answered about Trey Lance. I want to see what he looks like against another defense. It's going to be interesting. I'm definitely looking forward to it. A little bit of talk coming out of training camp today is that Garoppolo had another turnover-filled day. He threw 2 interceptions, could have been 3. So it's kind of the same old with him. Inconsistent. You know what you're getting, but at the same time, I guess from the looks of it, with Kyle and the organization, he's the best option at this moment. So it is what it is. We're going to have to go with it until, something else is, some other decision is made and the 49ers go in a different direction. But until then, it's Jimmy's team, really. How you doing, Jay in the Bay? Thanks for dropping in the stream. Thank you for the super chat. I did not realize that. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. I'm glad I was able to give you one yesterday. I didn't even realize you were already able to get super chats. That was pretty quick. It took me a little bit longer, so appreciate it. Pinor, how you doing, man? Thank you for dropping in. Appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. This is like cathartic to me. Sometimes I like to step away and not do stuff, and then when I get back on here and I get the love from everybody, it makes it all worth it. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it. So I guess the thing of the story of camp right now, at least from what a video I made the other day, is Kyle's very evident frustration when it comes to Jalen Hurd and that whole situation. Same thing with Jaquaski Tart, and Kyle didn't seem too happy, because he's been answering the same questions for how many years, and the Niners have had a losing record all but 1 year he's been there, and pretty much the reason being is they've just had injury problems galore. So it was definitely something when he was asked yesterday about Jalen Hurd, he pretty much gave the answer of, he didn't say this exactly, but he pretty much said, he's running out of time to prove himself. He needs to get on the field, to prove that he's able to, and deserving of a roster spot. And Kyle was pretty defiant in that answer. He seemed pretty irritated. Same thing with Tart. And then you got the news today that the Niners signed Clinton Dix, because safety is a position right now that they're having some issues with injuries. Tart's going on the PUP list, so he probably won't be available for at least the first 6 games, with an injury that he ended last season with, which is a what do you call that toe? I know, turf toe, and it's a real injury. It's a damning injury for pretty much any football player who has to use their legs, which is all football players. So, Clinton Dix was signed. Tony Jefferson was, from what all the reports were, doing well in camp, but he's dealing with some things too. So, it's kind of the same old with these injuries, man. It's a little bit unnerving and a little bit just tiring to hear about the same old stuff. But we haven't played a regular season game yet, so I'm going to pump the brakes personally. I just get frustrated. I know a lot of you guys do. How you doing, Rome the Upsetter? I appreciate you coming through, man. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. Stoner Fillmore, how you doing, man? Appreciate all the nice words from the last couple days. Definitely makes it worth coming back on here. And yeah, I agree with you, Jay in the Bay. I don't see Hurd making the 53 either, because you got to look at it. I'm trying to think of the name of the player. I know who you guys know who I'm talking about. We signed him as a free agent, kind of a low level free agent signing. And he's doing really well in camp. Number 81, I just can't think of his name. Wide receiver, doing really well in camp. And he looks like he might make that number 3 wide receiver spot. Jawan Jennings has having a good camp. It looks like he might make that wide receiver. Thank you, Sherfield. Appreciate it. Thank you, Jay. Yeah, he's doing really well. Jawan Jennings has been having a good camp. They're saying Austin Watkins possibly maybe on the practice squad. And Sanu, of course, and Kevin Benjamin, who we signed last year but sat out because of COVID. Yeah, it's just, the best ability is availability. I was watching Eric Crocker's stream, and he was talking about the same thing earlier today, man. If you're not available, you're of no use to the team. And it's unfortunate with a guy like Hurd, but I mean, you can't have him be out another year and then think you're going to get something next year. I mean, the Niners have to cut their losses if he doesn't show anything within the next couple weeks. Maybe he balls out in the preseason and the Niners, see something that they like and maybe they'll stash him on the practice squad. But until that happens, there's a good chance he may not play for this team. And who knows, maybe he doesn't play at all in the NFL. You wonder if he wants it because, some players are actually able to play through injuries and play through pain. And he doesn't look like that type. So, Shanahan said what he said yesterday, and then today he was on the practice field. But from all the reports, he wasn't separating from anybody today. He really was never even looked at during 11-on-11. So don't have a lot of hope for Jalen Hurd. Not a personal vendetta or a problem. It's just, it is what it is, man. You got to go with the guys that are available, and he's not available. And unfortunately, it's a business. And it's a sport about people that can play. We've talked about the things that he could possibly bring to the table for 2 years, and we've seen none of it. So, unfortunately, you have to cut your losses eventually and move on. So the Niners might be facing that position in the next 3 weeks. 49ers Ultimate Report for the $5 super chat. Thank you. I am doing better. It's I have social anxiety, so what happens is sometimes I need to coil up in a corner and be away from people for a while. I've been dealing with that more in my adult life than my younger life. I just deal with anxiety and depression. So sometimes it just gets a hold of me and I need to kind of step back for a bit, take a deep breath. I actually missed work the other day because of it. I just needed to. And then eventually my mind just kind of works its way out and then I'm better. So shout out to you guys for being super supportive, all of you. Appreciate it. Again, Niners Ultimate Report. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Jay, thank you for yours. I can't wait for the day that I can keep plugging along and keep grinding, and eventually you'll get there, just like Jay, just like me, and just like CG. How you doing, Nate? Sacramento, California, checking in. What's good? Man, all you guys are West Coast. You make me feel so alone over here on the East Coast, being a 49ers fan, but it's all good. We're all running. We're all cheering for the same squad, so that's all that matters. We talked about injuries and we talked about players that have been surprising in camp, and of course, Dee Ford has been one of those guys. And all I'll say about Dee Ford is this is something that I am going to wait until the regular season starts. Because if you remember last year during the preseason, he kind of was in the same boat. He talked about playing and how about he needed to be available and all this other stuff. And then he played one half of the first game and we never saw him. I am cautiously optimistic that he will offer us something this year. It's funny. He's actually been more healthy than Samson Ebukam, who's been dealing with some sort of, I don't know if it's a groin problem. So who would have thought that that would be the case? But apparently he's more healthy right now. They said he's looking good, doing 11 on 11. So hopefully he can keep it going when it matters the most. Armstead's been dealing with something too. Listen, man, I'm not going to panic too much, but it's definitely on my mind of, here we go again. You guys, I know you guys feel the same way with the flashbacks and the here we go agains with all these guys always being nicked up before we even play a game. So, but hopefully it'll all work itself out and who knows, maybe we'll have a healthy squad this year, but until it happens, I'm not going to believe it. Sacramento, beautiful black thick woman. There's some out on the East Coast too, man. It's just not the West Coast. What was I going to say? Yeah, so let's just keep our fingers crossed that the Niners can, for the most part, have some health from a good majority of their roster. I mean, their secondary, as you guys know, is something of a question mark beyond the starters, K1, Emmanuel Mosley, and Verrett. And after that, it's just a whole bunch of question marks. The talk of camp, though, is ever since Mosley's been back, he's been balling out. Some people say it's because he has fresh legs, which is probably the case. But Mosley looks good. Again, man, it's all about health. If we can have these guys for the majority of the season, maybe 14 of 17 games, in some mix, form, or fashion from all of them, we'll be all right. With the pass rush healthy too. But if we have any extended period where we're missing more than one, I'm nervous and I'm scared about the secondary. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely a worry. But I'll give it time before I start panicking too much, but it's definitely something that's a concern of mine for sure. Nate says, I think we had the 5th ranked defense last year and we didn't have nobody defensively. Yeah, I think we were a top 10 defense last year. We did pretty well considering we had no pass rush. Verrett played really well down the stretch when he was able to do man to man. So, Stunner Fillmore says, shout out to your neck of the woods, the East Coast. Yeah, I'm up in the Western New York area. So I'm like northeast, like I'm like an outlet. Like I live near Lake Ontario. So Canada's pretty close, or Toronto or whatever. But, Jay in the Bay says, are you surprised Banks is still working on second team and Brunskill appears to be the... Yeah, I didn't even list that as one of my topics, but that's a good point. Yeah, that's concerning, being that he's a second round pick, right? He was a second round pick, Aaron Banks, and he can't make his way onto the first team. He's definitely been struggling in camp from what the reports say. So it's definitely a concern of mine. Hopefully he can work through it, Jay, and we'll eventually get him on the field as a starter. But man, when you invest a second rounder in an offensive guard and he's getting beat out by, someone who's a journeyman offensive lineman at best, it's definitely a cause for pause and concern. But again, who knows? Maybe he'll find his way, and he'll get on the field as a starter at some point. Who knows? But yeah, it's definitely concerning for me, Jay, for sure. Drafting somebody that high and not getting dividends from immediately is definitely concerning. Pinor says Trey's talking about a bit about Sheffield in the radio interview. Sounds like he's building chemistry with him and try to get him on the 53 man. Pretty cool of him to do that, building respect. Yeah. If you listen to Trey's interviews, he's all about taking the criticism off of his teammates and putting it on himself. And that to me is something that I can respect. He was talking about some of the fumbled exchanges he's been doing in the, in the run game where, he has to pull it out or take it and run it himself in some of those option plays. And he's had some turnovers and he's owned it. He's taken complete responsibility for it. And I respect him as a young man. And I'm just glad that he's our quarterback, and hopefully he does well sooner than later. If you're leaving, Stunner Fillmore, I appreciate it. You take care too, brother. Thanks for coming by. Pioneer says that leadership is the leadership of taking responsibility. It's huge, man. For a guy his age, what is he, 21? You get the respect of a roster when you're 21. It only, and the more he plays better, it's going to bring him more respect. So, what was I going to say? Nate says they say Jimmy G is the golden boy, but I feel like I will run game. Huh? My eyes are playing tricks on me, guys. Give me a second. Yeah, he craters in the pocket. And I think 2019, our running game was fantastic during 2019. So let's not be foolish. He played well at times, especially the New Orleans game, late in that Rams game, late in the year. But Jimmy Garoppolo is anything but perfect. People have a little bit of this false narrative going that he was the reason why we did what we did. And you got to remember that playoff run, the Niners took the ball out of his hands almost completely in the divisional and in the championship game. And in the Super Bowl, when he was put on his shoulders to produce when it mattered, he wasn't able to do that. So I think some people just have this thing where I'm not saying that Jimmy's all to blame for the Super Bowl, but he is the starting quarterback of the franchise, and you expect more in a crunch time situation. So, yeah, definitely not a golden boy in my eyes, for sure. Jay in the Bay says, is the faithful excited for the preseason game this Saturday against Chiefs? I am. Mainly, I just want to see Trey. I don't know about you, Jay, but I'm more interested in sitting as many starters as possible that don't need to play. But I definitely would like to see Trey play a good chunk of time, maybe behind the first offensive line for a bit, just to give him some much needed snaps. He needs the snaps big time, so why not give it to him live action against Kansas City, Super Bowl caliber team? Nothing's on the line. He can kind of go out there and just sling it, see what he does. I'm definitely looking forward to it. That's pretty much my only reason I'm going to be watching that game is to watch Trey. I hope the Niners, like I said, I hope they manage their big players well and don't put anybody out there that doesn't need to be out there. And you guys know what I mean. No injuries to anybody who's worth anything if you don't need to play them. So 49ers Ultimate Report says Trey is so mature for a 21-year-old. Vern Glenn interview shows why he will have a long career with the 49ers. I'm going to have to check that interview out, 49ers Ultimate Report. I appreciate it. Rome, the upsetter. That's why Trey's been playing with the second string, because the first won't be playing. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. I didn't think about that. That's a good point. I want to see Trey, running backs, pass rush, and secondary. Yeah. I like to see a guys like Arden Key, Zach Kerr, Givens, Contavious Street. I would like to see Samson Ebukam, but I don't know if he's going to be playing in that game. He might be still down. But yeah, I definitely want to see, like you said, the secondary, pass rush. Hopefully our running backs can stay healthy. I like to see all of them, really. I would like to see every running back we got. I don't know if you guys can see my mug, but you know what's up. Got my Faithful to the Bay shirt on too. So yeah, I'm all decked out over here. Still haven't got my jerseys yet. I'm still waiting on my brother to put in an order for them. So eventually I'll have a couple new jerseys, but until then I got to wait. So, but I end up taking them off during games anyways because I get too hot. 49ers Ultimate Report says, I want to see mostly safety and corners. 49ers are thin in those positions. Yeah. I want to see the young guys. I want to see what they can do. That's a rough test going against those starting wide receivers in Kansas City. That's all I'm going to say. Won't be surprised if they get toasted, not going to lie. But would you be surprised? I mean, that's like a Super Bowl caliber team over there. So thank you. Yeah. I've had like numerous mugs and they've all been broken by different family members accidentally, supposedly. Clownman says, hey man, looks like we have a vet safety. Ha ha. Yeah, exactly. Boom. Yeah. Little ha ha Clinton Dix. They worked him out last year too, if you guys remember. Or they were looking at safeties last year and he was mentioned along the way. But yeah, they need it. You know, they got Tony Jefferson's banged up. They have of course Tart, who's going to miss some time with that toe. Like I said, man, Shanahan did not seem pleased yesterday when asked about injuries. He's tired of it just as much as we are. So, whoo. The one thing I like about Shanahan is he says it. He tells it how it is, and sometimes it comes off like rough or unfeeling. But I respect people that tell things how they are and don't sugarcoat anything. So, how you doing, G-Rod, man? Thanks for popping in. How you doing, Luke Luna? Can you tell me why our run game isn't good as Jim isn't as good without Jimmy, and we lose without Jimmy in general? When Jimmy's in there in the run game, you know, it's hard to say because it's like compared to the quarterbacks we had play last year, he's definitely better. But I feel like with Jimmy, I'll put it this way: he has a ceiling of what he can do physically. His game has a ceiling. He has limitations. And, you know, Shanahan evaluated him on the biggest stage of them all and unfortunately wasn't able to come through because of some of those limitations, possibly. And, you know, the Niners had a position to, they made the move to trade up to go to number 3. And they've looked at the team in general and said, like, listen, you know, the quarterback position has been something of a major issue with all the injuries. And Jimmy's missed, you know, all but one season since he's been here on and off with injuries. So it's more than one factor with Jimmy. And with Trey, unfortunately it's all about upside and the excitement over his physical gifts. So Jimmy is a proven commodity, but Jimmy is also we've seen what he can do. We've seen him at his best. And, you know, if you have a chance to get better at the quarterback position, you have to do it. Honestly, you know, that's really what it all comes down to. Where do I get my jerseys from? My brother orders them from some like overseas company. You order them in big numbers and you're able to get them cheaper or something. I don't know. He doesn't tell me really. It's like a secret. So just to the anybody could have went to the Super Bowl with that run game argument. No, I agree. He was part of it. I'm not saying he's without skill, but I just feel like, you know, when we can get better, we did, hopefully with Trey Lance. We don't know yet. That's still a question, but you know, the talent is there and they're taking that chance. They made the move. It's been made. So apparently the front office has its own views on Jimmy. Us fans, for whatever reason, some of us love Jimmy, some of us hate him. I'm more of in the indifferent department, and I'm all about wanting to win. So if Trey can make that happen, then you got to go with the young hot hand. But we'll see. How you doing, Fable JVC? How's it going, man? Thanks for dropping in. I appreciate it. I was screaming at our defense in the Super Bowl more than I was Jimmy. Yes, so was I. I totally agree. The defense had its chances to make stops, and they didn't make them when they needed to. And I was telling people that if we didn't score for score with Kansas City in that Super Bowl, eventually it was going to come back to bite us. I felt the defense just, it had only so many snaps where they could contain the Chiefs, and that they were going to pop at some point. And sure enough, it happened. So yeah, I can deal with that. I can understand, and I agree a lot of what you're saying. It was said yesterday that Jimmy does have one of the quickest releases. Yeah, he's got a quick release. He just doesn't have a very strong arm compared to Trey Lance, of course. Yeah, if you guys don't mind, please drop a like on the stream if you like it. It helps with the algorithms so that I can be found on YouTube. It helps grow the channel. Appreciate it. Well, I can't stand him. Who are you talking about, Jimmy? Who are you talking about, Rome the Upsetter? Yeah, just saying, give the guy the time to be able to make it turn, make it hum the way it's supposed to. Trust me, Trey is a baller. I can't wait for him, but let's get this offense humming first and set examples, then Trey. Agreed. Yeah, we got to get this thing going with or without Trey. And from what it looks like right now, it's going to be without. He's not going to start. So the Niners have every asset available to them to have a good season. There's no excuses. You just got to stay healthy. There's no more excuses. There's more than enough talent on both sides of the ball to get this thing rolling. So I worry, what if Jimmy has trouble throwing anywhere but short to intermediate passes in the middle of the field? Or DC is in most now. Yeah. Well, they've already started to. That's what, like, when he was playing against I think it was Minnesota in the playoffs, they definitely were trying to take those throws away from him because they know that's where he likes to go. He has trouble with anticipation throws outside the numbers. Something that Trey excels at. So yeah, he's definitely like a quick released, short to intermediate kind of dink and dunk quarterback. But I don't know. He's throwing some nice ones in camp to make you say like, oh, see, he's got it in him. But it's just not something he does. Like, it's not repetitive. He has issues repeating that from time to time. So, 49ers Ultimate Report. You said before the QB room is better than 2020. Yeah, definitely. I don't know who's going to be the number 3 quarterback. I don't know who you guys think it's going to be, but it's going to be definitely interesting. Sermon Mitchell. Yeah, I mean, I think Sermon and Mitchell are I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Tevin Coleman was all right at first. He wasn't bad. It's like we saw what we saw from him, and then it just kind of diminished after a while. Yeah, Devontae Freeman, those guys were fantastic in Atlanta. But it's definitely going to be something to see this thunder and lightning kind of running game that the Niners are setting up for themselves. So yeah, definitely. Jimmy was 5th in deep ball percentage in 2019. We just didn't see a lot when he was fairly accurate. Yeah, he was. He didn't have as many attempts though, so a lot of people kind of get on him for that. Like you said, he didn't do it as much. Right now, looks like Sudfeld maybe QB number 3. Yeah, I've heard some reports that Josh Rosen looks like he just doesn't want to be there. So, not really surprising at this point in his career. He's gotten that. He's gotten that knock on him before. So, yeah, I don't know if you guys have heard about this talk about the Niners. James Washington, Denzel Mims. Guys that might be made available for trade. And I was listening to Locked On 49ers talk about would that be an option for the 49ers to make a move to strengthen their wide receiver room? And what would you have to give up for a guy like James Washington from Pittsburgh, who's fallen down the depth chart, or a guy like Denzel Mims, who's big, but he's more of a straight line runner, not much of the intermediate or middle of the field type stuff. So if you're not going to give up a ton and say you give up like a 4th or 5th round pick for one of those guys that can help boost your receiver room, then I'm always for it. But I definitely wouldn't give up anything major with either of those guys. Put some respect on Suddy's name. The dude's been throwing darts, top-notch practice guy. Sudfield will be the 3rd guy. Yeah, I've heard that too. I heard that he's like not like he's limited in his skill, like he's not super skilled, but he makes the most of what he does, kind of like Nick Mullins, but slightly or a lot more talented physically. But yeah, I've heard that too. That podcast made me think of what a Built Bar tastes like. Yeah, gotta love the Built Bar ads during that one. I haven't tried them yet, though. I don't know if you guys have, but I would like to try a Built Bar one of these days. Niner Gang podcast says, I don't see us making any more free agency moves, not at wide receiver at least. Yeah, it was just something that was floated out there. It wasn't necessarily something that was gonna happen. Just see us chilling. We don't have a ton of draft capital as it is. Yeah, agreed. Like I said, it was just something that was kind of bandied about, talked about. With everything that Jimmy's going through, he seems to be handling it well and keeps a great attitude. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Jimmy, like, listen, he's handled this whole quarterback thing as good as you can for a backup. For an incumbent starter. So I give him props for that. But I think he knows that the Niners were kind of forced to do this because of his inability to stay healthy, and I think he understands that. You'd have to be stupid not to realize that a team has to do what's in the best interest of the organization when you have a guy that just can't stay healthy and can't stay on the field. The Sentinel says Jimmy's a backup at best. Time will tell. Time will tell. Right now, I mean, I know what he can do. I've seen what he can do as a fan. I'm interested to see what Trey can do at this point. I don't know what Trey Lance can do. Last time I looked, which was not quite 2 weeks ago, the Pats still have the two cornerbacks upset about their contracts. Yeah, I wish. The Niners really, if there's any position that they would trade for or make a move for right now, it would have to be cornerback over anything else. If they decided to make a trade, I'm not saying they're going to, because that's a scary proposition, man. You lose one of those starters and then you're in a whole world of hurt. So yeah, definitely be interesting to see. I wish the 49ers would cut Jimmy G and get Jesse Bates from the Bengals. Dude is a playmaker, physical, and especially healthy. I don't even know who that is. Pinar. I have no idea who Jesse Bates is. Got me on that one. Yeah, I don't think they're cutting him anytime soon. I think the Niners are looking to bring up his trade value as much as possible. Hopefully he plays well this year when he's starting. And when they move on next year, they have something of an asset to trade away. But I don't see them cutting him outright, no. I agree. Jimmy does come to work. Jimmy is not a guy that doesn't work. He works. He works all the time. You just, again, it's all about what can he give you, what is his level of skill, and can he get better, or have we seen the most of what he can do? I personally think that we've seen what Jimmy can do. He's kind of a known commodity, like I've said before, but who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. I would love to be wrong, man. Luke, I would love for us to all be wrong about Jimmy that doubt him. and he has a fantastic year. But we'll wait and see, man. We got about what 3 or 4 weeks, 3 weeks, a month, 29 days, whatever. So we'll get our answer eventually. Jimmy is a starter that goes to the Super Bowl. Let's not trash the dude for no reason. Or did he not watch 290? No, I agree. He played well in 2019. I'm just saying in that playoff run, he was definitely questionable. His play was erratic to say the least during the Minnesota and Green Bay game. But as far as the regular season, yeah, he had some good games. That New Orleans game, he played, tit for tat with Drew Brees. That's what kind of frustrates me about him is that I wanted to see, I felt like he was able to do that. Like, I want to see it more. You know what I mean? I wanted to see that kind of uh, moxie and firepower from him. And, you really never saw it after that New Orleans game. You see glimpses of it, but it was never really consistent. Niner Gang podcast, he comes to work, but doesn't necessarily mean he's great at his job. Yeah, I mean, just like in any workplace, you might have a guy that is always there and always shows up, but he could suck at his job, but he's available. You know what I mean? He's always there for the company. And then there's, the guy that might call in sick all the time, but he's like super good at his job, but he's never available. So we'll see. We'll definitely see. If Jimmy comes out balling, a lot of people are going to eat their words. I hope I eat my words, G-Rod. I hope I eat my words. I want us to be that good. You don't understand. Like, I'm not one of those people that wants us to suck on purpose just so Trey can come in. Now, like, if Jimmy balls out and we're going, 10, 11, 12 wins in a row to start the season, then whatever. I'm for it. You know what I mean? Fable JVC says it's a playoff started in 2019, probably because defenses are taking away the middle, like you said earlier. Yeah, that was the thing during that one of that. I think it was the Minnesota game. They definitely were sitting on that intermediate stuff, and once it looked like we didn't have to stop running the ball during that game, you didn't see much of Jimmy, and then the NFC Championship game, you didn't see much of Jimmy either. Teams have figured out that that's where he likes to do his business, is in the middle of the field. If Jimmy can somehow, elevate his game to start hitting outside the numbers with anticipation, then teams will have to back off. But until that happens, yeah, you're going to see teams squatting on it. No, I agree. We'll see. I don't know what he is right now, to tell you the truth. All I know is he's the starting quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers until further notice. But like I said, they didn't make that trade because they were content in what he could do. They were looking to get better at the position. They were looking to get healthier at the position. They were looking to improve that quarterback room as a whole. So we have to be honest. I'm not bashing him. I want him to do well this year because I want us to do well. But Jimmy is what he is. He's a known commodity, like I said, and we know what he can do as a player, and he's been in the league long enough to know that that's not going to change. It is what it is. Now, I could be wrong. He could ball out this year, but I feel like we're going to see more of the same of the 2019 Jimmy. 28 touchdowns, maybe 10 interceptions, which is, if you have a strong enough defense and running game, that is good enough to get you the Super Bowl. So we'll see. He is not elite. Trey will be elite. Agreed. I agree, Luke. I agree very much. Let's see what we got here. I don't know if you guys heard about another thing that's been talked about is that whole CJ Henderson, cornerback from the Bucks. Another one of those, what's the word I'm looking for? Where somebody was like, hey, what would the Niners have to give up for a guy like CJ Henderson at corner? He wants out of Jacksonville, and the Niners do have a need at corner, but what it comes down to is value and what they value him as, and what the Niners would have to give up. So The way I look at it is I just don't see that happening. But it's corner is something that is definitely something to worry about. And I'm always interested in making the 49ers better. And I wouldn't be against them making a trade for a guy like CJ Henderson, but I just don't see the firepower to make any type of trade, especially the guy was, I think he was a first round pick, CJ Henderson. So the Niners wouldn't give him, be able to get him for, uh, you know, next to nothing. They would they definitely would have to give up some sort of draft capital for sure. Um, disgruntled. Yeah, I'm definitely disgruntled too. How you doing, Fernando? How's it going, man? Appreciate you dropping in the stream. Glad to be back. Glad there's preseason ball coming this weekend, man. I can't wait. We will go to the Super Bowl, and both Kyle and Jimmy will learn from their mistakes. Kyle should have ran the ball more. He decided to sling it around with a 10-point lead, and that was on Kyle. I agree. My brother even said, we were killing him with the run. We were killing him with Debo. We should have stayed on it. I agree, man. You got to go with what got you there. And I don't know what it is with Kyle. He's kind of like the new age Andy Reid. You know what I mean? Andy Reid's had his issues, closing games out and kind of choking things away at the end. And now Shanahan's kind of taken up that mantle. But hey, he finally won one. So my hope is that the same will happen with us. He'll finally figure it all out, and we'll finally get off the hook and get our 6th championship. 49ers Ultimate Report says Jimmy G's quick release and pass attack 5 to 15 yards. He jet sweeps plays, he shines. But you said it, the defense have mastered the way of his play. Yeah. It's obvious that they've mastered it because the Niners, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get a lot of sideline to sideline. You're not going to get any vertical. With Jimmy, you're not going to get a lot of vertical downfield. With Trey, I mean, you've seen it in training camp. Trey pushes the ball downfield and makes beautiful throws in the breadbasket, over the shoulder, not breaking stride. That's just something Jimmy can't do on a regular basis. It's not a knock against him. It's his physical limitations. You know what I mean? So, like Luke Luna said, Trey has elite skills, and eventually we're going to get to see those skills, and hopefully those skills translate into us being like a Kansas City, you know what I mean? Where we just have so many weapons from so many different areas, and one of those weapons being the quarterback. But nobody knows yet. We haven't seen any games. We don't have any tape. It's all preseason. It's all practice. It's right now it's just fun to talk about, but we haven't seen nothing yet. Do you think Trey can do what Jimmy did in the Vikes playoff game? They ran the ball a lot and threw very little. Running game was punishing them. Yeah. If Trey was forced to start, Kyle would find a way to make him be productive and successful. I have the utmost confidence in Kyle's ability to call plays if Trey was in there. But the Niners are looking at it, as it's Jimmy's team for now. Trey's going to play this year, like the coach said. It's not a matter of if; it's a matter of when. They have packages for him that they want to run, so it's definitely going to be interesting to see Trey get in there, man. Definitely. Halo, bro. Aloha from Hawaii. Nice. Thanks for dropping in, man. Appreciate it. I'd love to go to Hawaii. I've never been that far out of the greater northeastern United States. That would have been beautiful. I don't agree with Ayuk, Debo, Kittle, Sanu, Sheffield, Jennings. You can't figure that out. Then run the game. Then the run game is dominant, and these dudes are getting quick hit by Jimmy. I don't think you. Well, yeah, if the run game is successful, yeah, you can win with that sort of passing game for sure. But the run game has to be successful. You know what I mean? You do a lot of play action off that. Jimmy's a damn good play action quarterback, I must say. When it comes to holding it, sticking it in the belly, and then pulling it back and play action, that's one thing Jimmy does very well that I've seen. I think it was the game against Green Bay where was he? And Kittle was wide open down the safety or a linebacker trailing him. Fantastic throw by Jimmy. Again, he could have probably got more on it. If you notice Jimmy's downfield passes, they don't have as much arc. They're more of like straight lines. So, but yeah, that is definitely something that's like if you're able to run the ball as well as I think we're going to, yeah, and then yeah, you could be successful with an intermediate pass game. It's when the defense actually and stops the run. Can you respond to that by making throws outside the numbers? And that's kind of where teams at times have been able to stop the 49ers, and the Niners have been inability to kind of respond to that because of just the limitations of not just Jimmy, but other quarterbacks they've had on the roster as well. CJ Beathard, Nick Mullins, all of them. They couldn't make defenses pay. I mean, look how frustrated last year. I don't know if you guys remember Brandon Ayuk. Forgot what game it was, but he was so pissed off because the pass down the field pulled him out of bounds and he could have scored. And it was just an inaccurate throw. And you've seen it. People who have been at camp said they've seen it at camp too, where players are visibly frustrated with Jimmy's inability to keep the ball inbounds or accurate or able to get the ball to a guy. And Trey does well with that. And, it is what it is. I mean, we've seen it on film and we've witnessed it in camp. So yeah, that play to Brandon Ayuk down the right sideline, I think it was against the Jets. He was wide open and the pass was inaccurate. Jimmy just has an issue with getting the ball accurately down the field, especially when guys are wide open down, he just doesn't have that second level of arm strength to get it there. It's unfortunate. I think Jimmy's is gone next season. Yeah, I mean, it's financially, I don't know if they can support him being there another year. If they can somehow figure out a way, then who knows? Maybe he stays. Maybe he takes the pay cut. But I think a lot of people in the media have come to the conclusion this is probably Jimmy's last year and that Trey will take over. So, but I do think Jimmy hits these dudes deep when they load the box for the run. Short to intermediate, he's going to gash them over the top. Watch. I hope he finds a way to get that deep ball more accurate and on time. Because you're right, with that running game being effective, it's definitely something that guys are going to be more open. You can't clog the middle of the field like that when you're running the ball. You have to respect, if guys come up and guys play the run hard, you're going to be an ability to have one-on-ones down the field, and it's just a matter of the quarterback being able to hit them. I'm pulling and screaming at both these dudes because I know what we're capable of. Remember, guys, we're all fans of the same team here, so let's not get angry at each other. It's going to be Jimmy's game to play this year, anyways. It's his job to lose. It's not Trey's, so we're going to see Jimmy whether any of us like it or not. And for our sakes, let's hope he plays well and we win and we can use Trey, sporadically through the season and everything works out. So whether anybody wants to see Garoppolo or not, he's still the starter until further notice. Our wide receiver 1 and wide receiver 2 will succeed with fewer deeper balls, and so will our run game. Yeah. It's all about staying healthy. If those two guys can stay healthy on the outside, man, we're going to have a prolific passing game for sure. No, I mean, I'm screaming at both these quarterbacks. Dude, I scream so much watching games. I'm so miserable, like I've said, watching 49er games. I tend to stay to myself when I watch football. At the end of the day, all the opinion of Trey and Jimmy will play out in the preseason. But all that matters that the 49er fans want is to win a Super Bowl. If Jimmy proves Yeah, and either Jimmy proves the winner or Trey takes the job. Yeah, in the end, that's all we want. We just want to win a Super Bowl. Whoever gets us there and whoever makes that happen, I support 100%. But if people are going to ask me, my opinion on Jimmy and why I think he struggles and why the 49ers, made the move to trade for Trey Lance, then I'll give you my opinion. But I'm not going to sit here and say that, I'd be against Jimmy playing and I would like almost protest us having a good year. No, I'm all for it. We need to be critical towards both guys. I'm saying, yes, we need to be screaming at both these dudes. If they drop the ball, this is the faithful of the Niners, baby. Yeah. I, I'm never faithful to a quarterback like I'd say I was during the Montana Young era. A lot of people thought that I was like more critical of Kaepernick and that I held Jimmy to a higher standard when Jimmy first got here. And I told people, I said, listen, nobody's my favorite. It's all about winning. If Jimmy can't get it done, if Kaepernick couldn't get it done, I'm going to be critical of either of them. There's nobody's over another guy. Same thing with Trey. If Trey can't get it done and he's a bust, I'm going to be the first guy to say it. I'm not going to say, well, they traded up to get him and they did this and that. So I'm going to, give him all these extra chances. He's going to have as many chances as Jimmy had. And if he can't get it done, then, I'm going to be just as critical to him as I was to the last two guys. So to me, there's no favoritism. I want Trey to succeed because of what they gave up to get him and because the Niners could be in a Super Bowl window with him because he costs less to have on the roster than, say, a Jimmy Garoppolo, and you could do more around him. But at the same time, like I said, if he struggles and he doesn't play well, I'm going to be just as critical of him as I've been with Jimmy, Cap, Alex Smith, you name it. I'm fair across the board. I will support any QB that starts and plays as long as he's the best choice and puts us in a position to win. Amen, Sean. Amen, brother. Exactly. It's all about winning, man. It's not about personal favorites. Yes, we all want to see Trey because Trey's the new shiny toy. But if Jimmy gives us the best chance to win right now and our roster is healthy and is able to, play together all season, then I'm all for it too. But at the same time, like I said, the Niners invested a lot of money, or not a lot of money, a lot of draft capital into the quarterback position. And eventually we're going to see him play whether people like it or not. It's going to happen. Any QB that wears the red and gold will always be put in a high standard because of Montana Young. Yep. Agreed. That will forever be a high pressure job because it's like going to play for the New York Yankees. And listen, I know a lot of you guys hate the Yankees, but when you put on those pinstripes, the expectation is World Series or bust. Just like when you put on that red and gold and you're a quarterback, it's Super Bowl or bust. And if you can't lead the franchise to a Super Bowl as the quarterback of the San Francisco 49ers, then you're not going to be remembered in the way that we remember Joe or the way we remember Steve. Those guys are forever legends because they were able to secure us. Joe got us 4, Steve got us 1. Fact of the matter is they're both winners. And hey, if Jimmy wins this one, I'm all for it. If Trey wins this one, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? You know how many times I heard I'll stop being a Niner fan if they draft Mac. Same with Lance. Or as if you don't start Lance, my response, good riddance, KC is waiting for you. I wasn't going to stop being a Niners fan if they traded Mac Jones, but I definitely would have been critical because from all the reports right now, he's not beating out Cam Newton. So that's a little scary. You know what I mean? Junior C said it right. All we need are them to stay healthy for F's sakes. Agreed. Go Giants, boo Yankees. Hey, listen, I used to be a hardcore Yankees fan. I live in New York. But I really don't follow baseball that much anymore. So if people poop on the Yankees, I don't really get upset. You poop on my Niners and I have a problem, but I don't really care. Baseball's too long of a season. And the Yankees are like the Cowboys of the Major League Baseball. They get all the coverage, all the hype, and rarely do they live up to expectations anymore. Smith or Cap with Shanny would have been the makings of a playoff team, I think. Yeah, I agree. Would Cap be up for coaching though, and staying within the structure of the offense and staying in the pocket to make throws? If Cap could have done that and got better with his accuracy, then yeah, I definitely could have saw that. Luke Lena, let's beat the Super Bowl 54 cheaters, Chiefs. Yeah. Let's not talk about the Chiefs Super Bowl victory anymore. It depresses me. Gold Blood 21. Now they didn't. Not that they didn't, but they would have balled out more, in my opinion. Joe Mahoney, if the 49ers give the reins to Trey Lance, he would be the first rookie in to win the Super Bowl. Damn, dude, that is a ballsy prediction. Not out of the realm of possibilities, but I'm not going to say anything. I don't think it's going to happen, but yeah, that would be something for sure. Cap was and will be trash. Yeah, I jumped on the Cap bandwagon to begin with, I'll be honest with you, but I noticed that he never made adjustments to his game to change his way of playing once the teams adjusted to him. He only knew one way, and that's where I fell out of love with him. I didn't fall out of love with him because of his political stance or social justice stance. That was not my problem. A lot of people think that's what it was. Me, it was just the fact that he was not good after that 1 year. So he didn't win, and that's all that matters. There was no other rhyme or reason behind it. I am anxious to see how Kinlaw does with Bosa, D Ford, as well as a heavy rotation that we have on the field. Yeah, we're pretty deep at defensive tackle with Kevin Givens and Contavious Street, DJ Jones, Zach Kerr, among others. Yeah, it's going to be a pretty loaded defensive tackle room. It's going to be awesome. We would be talking so much crap if we won the Super Bowl with Lance. Oh, dude, definitely. I'm not a trash talking type of guy, but if that ever happened, yeah, I'd be all over people for sure. Our D line is legit. Yeah, if we can stay healthy on the edge, not as much worried about the inside. I'm worried about the edge. If we can stay healthy on the edge, then yeah, we're going to be scary. Cap costed us Super Bowl 47. Yeah, he was inaccurate at the end. In a way, kind of like Jimmy. Couldn't make the throws when necessary. Bottom line. My thing is records are meant to be broken. At some point, a rookie could be able to win the Super Bowl. My thing is, why not us? Agreed, Joey Mahoney. Why not? You never know. He might come in. We don't know how the season's going to play out, guys. We have so much time, and anything could happen in the next couple months. So, yeah. Hin's patience with Lance, character, makeup, heart, teamwork, and football IQ could never be compared to Kaepernick. He's light years ahead. Yeah. I didn't realize about Kaepernick at first how kind of like football, not dumb, but he wasn't football smart. You know what I mean? He was more of just an athlete. And once teams figured that out, he was never able to compensate. Yeah. Trey's ability to talk to the media and be professional, something Kaepernick never could muster. One thing about Cap that I never really liked was just his inability to be a leader and a professional with the media. I don't know what it was about him that I just didn't like very much. Jimmy's great and everything, but with Trey, he's even more of a great guy to listen to. You just respect him so much with his maturity for such a young guy and the way he talks to the press, the way he takes criticism on himself. It's something definitely interesting to watch. Sean has to get going, guys. Okay, brothers, have a great day. Got to go to work. Bang, bang. Aloha. Good stuff, bro. Thank you very much. Have a great day, my man. He couldn't throw a 5 to 10-yard pass. All you needed was Alex Smith or Jimmy G to beat those Ravens. They sent a spy, and Cap could not adjust. Yeah, one of the things they talked about was hitting Kaepernick. The Ravens, like you said, they spied, they hit him, and it threw off his whole game. I kind of look at Lamar Jackson a little bit like how I look at Kaepernick. Teams have kind of adjusted to Lamar Jackson and his athleticism, and can he make that adjustment off the adjustment? So Jimmy G is better than Alex Smith. I think Jimmy G's more talented than Alex Smith. Alex Smith was pretty limited arm wise, I must say. I do think Jimmy personally is more talented than Alex, unfortunately. I'm tired of hearing all these Seahawks fans constantly slamming us like they own us and that this is when they choke out every year like they've done anything recently, right? Every year. Their quarterback is why they do anything. And if he wasn't their quarterback, that team wouldn't sniff the playoffs. So I completely agree. Cap is more interested on being naked on Sports Illustrated than playing QB. Yeah, his priorities were definitely somewhere else when he was here for sure. I want to ask you guys before I get going what your honest opinion is of Jalen Hurd. We talked about it earlier. Do you think he's done? Do you think he's going to show us anything? Or is he primed to be cut, released, and pretty much never heard from again? I would hate to see him go to another team and be successful, but I want to know your guys' opinion on Hurd. Is he done? Is he finished? Or are we going to get something out of him and we're going to decide to keep him? What's your guys' final opinion on the Jalen Hurd situation? J Mouse, Jalen Hurd is done. Yeah, I'm kind of into that mindset too, my man. I just don't see enough to keep him. I guess he practiced today, like I said, and didn't really do much in 11 on 11s. Jalen Hurd equals bust. Yeah, to this point, yep. Like I said, man, go watch that press conference from yesterday and listen to Shanahan's tone when talking about Jalen Hurd and Jaquiski Tartt's injury situation. Dude was not happy. If you want, go watch it. It was very telling. 2019 to 2020, and now injured again. I don't think he may have a future with the 49ers. I don't think he may have a future with the NFL 49ers Ultimate Report, to be honest with you. What a waste of time to spend a pick on Jalen Hurd. Yeah, they've put so much and invested so much into him to get him back on the field. And then to hear yesterday that he wasn't feeling good or something. And yeah, coach wasn't having it. Coach was hot. So it's unfortunate, but this is a results business. And unfortunately, he has no results. Another little bit of quick news is the Niners released wide receiver Kevin White, a former first-round pick that's never panned out. Didn't hear much about him in camp. Someone that they had on their team last year that they signed, I think, before the season, never really panned out on the 49ers either. And they cut him to sign linebacker Donald Payne. Not exactly sure who Donald Payne is, but he looks like just a depth piece. But, yeah, I think the 49ers wide receiver room is definitely coming into kind of a crystal clear realization really soon. G-Rod says, I think Tard is done as well. He might be, man. They've invested some in the corner position this year. Hopefully Tony Jefferson can come back. And I'm trying to think of the other corner that is probably going to start the season. Is it Tavon Austin? Tavon, please help me with that one. But yeah, he's the Niners have invested into the corner position this offseason, and it looks like it was a good move. And then the signing of Clinton Dix, yeah, you never know. It might be the end of Jaquiski Tartt. As talented as he is, and high level of a player as he is, he can't stay healthy either. So I think he's had one healthy season or close to healthy season since he's been in the league. So I think it's over. Plus Jennings was an insurance policy, and Jennings got drafted last year, and he's balling out in camp this year. Yep. I got big aspirations for him, especially him being a 7th rounder and coming through camp this year and playing as well as he has, being a 7th rounder. That's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, if that's the case and he's there for the playoff run and we're able to make it to the playoffs, then yeah, I would be totally fine with him coming back, having fresh legs. But I don't know what the Niners' plans are for him. I would assume he's going to keep his job and stay on the team, but yeah, he's definitely on thin ice for sure. Elijah Mitchell, yeah, he's definitely someone I'm looking forward to seeing him and Trey Sermon for sure in the preseason. It's going to be something. I'm definitely looking forward to the new run game coming together. I want to see it. I'm interested. I'd rather see Sherfield with his speed rather than Ayuk returning. And yeah, I don't understand what the Niners thinking is putting Brandon Ayuk back on kick returns or punt returns. I'm just not comfortable with putting a guy who is so important to your offense back there, but we don't make the decisions, guys. So there's nothing really we can do about it. I'm trying to think. Yeah, like Sherfield would probably be someone good to return kicks, but we'll see. Maybe the Niners will test it out and they'll side otherwise, and then we won't have to worry about it. But yeah, definitely something concerning putting a guy of that much talent and how important he is to our offense back there. Anybody have any last thoughts about preseason? Anything else you're looking forward to besides what's been commented on here earlier? Like I said, I'm personally looking to see Trey Lance, the running backs. Those are the two things that I'm really looking forward to. And hopefully I would definitely want to see the pass rush or whatever guys actually play, because you could probably guarantee you're not going to see Ford or Bosa this preseason. So guys like Arden Key, and hopefully we'll get to see Samson Abucom at some point in this preseason too, because I want to see what we have as far as depth in that pass rush game. Our collection of defensive tackles that we have that are really talented, I definitely want to see. I want to see not a Contavious Street. I want to see Javon Kinlaw. I want to see how he's improved. He has a lot to prove. He was taken, I think, 14th last year to replace DeForest Buckner. He has a lot to prove. He has a lot of pressure on him. We got to see if he's gotten better. He didn't have an off season last year, so he had an excuse. He has no excuse this year not to be better than he was. Do I think Pat Mahomes will play, Jay? A series? Maybe. Why would you, though? Would you, Jay? I wouldn't. I wouldn't play him at all. Goldblood 21 says, hope Kinlaw takes a big step. Yeah, me too. Kinlaw needs to put up and shut up. No more talking. No more, just get in there and do your job. Show that you've developed a couple pass rush moves, that you're not just a bull rusher, because that was what he struggled with last year. He was kind of just a big bull rusher. He got owned last year by Lincoln Tomlinson in camp. So we'll see. We heard he was giving the offensive line some problems in camp the last couple of days. So hopefully he's gotten better. I wouldn't this game. Yeah, me neither. I wouldn't. Why? It's meaningless. Maybe the third, the rehearsal game. But yeah, Sean Buller said it best. Playing Mahomes in the preseason would be dumb. Yep, exactly, Jay. Maybe the third game, the preseason for a few series. Yeah, that's it, man. And then get everybody out of there. sometimes teams will play their starters until they like score, and if they're having an issue scoring, they'll keep them in there a really long time. So I have a couple people I want the Niners to kind of really showcase in the preseason, but for the most part, I would hope we do what the Rams did and just completely keep all the starters out and play the backups and get through the preseason without any injuries. Because if one team needs to get through the preseason without any injuries, it's the 49ers. Yeah, I heard the D-line and O-line were getting into it over Tomlinson poking Streets in the eyeball. Whoa. Yeah, there's been some fisticuffs going on in camp the last since camp started. But that's what happens when you go against the same guys every day. So hopefully they'll get it out of their system when they go play another team and, can keep their heads on keep their heads on and not go completely crazy. Because why get in trouble in a meaningless game that doesn't really have any bearing on anything whatsoever? So yeah, I've heard the same thing. Well, guys, I want to say I got much more to talk about, but I really don't. I'm definitely looking forward to um, the Saturday, looking to see what the Niners got. I'm definitely going to jump on and maybe do a stream Saturday night after the preseason game to sit there and talk about, I don't know how I'm going to watch it. I'm going to have to figure out a way to watch it, but I definitely want to watch the preseason game and then, maybe comment on it and give my opinions. Hopefully you guys can catch it too. Maybe NFL Network will have it on. I don't know. But I definitely want to see the 49ers in this preseason game. I definitely want to take away some things that I'm looking for away from it, mainly Trey Lance playing. Preseason week 1 starters will only play 2 series. I watch too many preseason games to know Trey will play 4 to 5 series. Yeah. Tree's definitely going to get some playing time. He has to. He hasn't played for a very long time. So, yeah, the more the reps you can get for Trey Lance, the better for sure. It was good to see Kansas City brought down to earth in the Super Bowl. Loved every minute of that. Yeah, it was hard. I wasn't rooting for anybody in that Super Bowl. I wanted neither team to win. You know what I mean? I didn't want to see Brady win another one. And I wasn't a big fan of seeing Kansas City win either. Yeah, SM, I saw that. Yeah, Hurd was back practicing today. But from all the reports, he was struggling to do anything in 11 on 11. So at this point, man, I really I don't expect anything from him. And I'd be really surprised, to be honest with you, if he made the final roster. It's sad. It's sad that they invested so much in him and they got nothing out of it. So, we'll definitely, I'll definitely keep my eyes on that. And, if anything happens, I'll report it for you guys. But, yeah, I think I'm gonna head out. It was nice for you guys to drop in and talk to me tonight after me taking a couple days off from doing this. And NFL Network will be playing the 49er game at 10 Saturday night in California time. So that'll be like 7 my time. So I'll have to do a late stream. Thanks for letting me know. I appreciate that, Joey Mahoney. Jalen Hurd will be working the concession stands. Ouch. That's rough. We have to keep Jalen Hurd on the practice squad then. Yeah, it might happen. I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just saying it would be definitely surprising at this point if he makes the roster. But, there's still some time, so who knows? Mascot, Mark Scott, 49ers, says, keep up the good work. Thank you. I definitely will try. Thanks, guys, for dropping in here tonight with me. I appreciate it. And, yeah, I'll probably jump on Saturday night after the game, do a live stream. I'll report any news that's coming this way the rest of this week that needs to be reported. But I just appreciate everybody coming in here, supporting me, making me feel welcome. And hopefully we'll have some stuff to talk about Saturday night about the preseason game, guys. All right, everybody, take care. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. And then, as you know, I'll see you on the flip side, guys. Bye.